So I've been discussing with Julian this thing about true will, and I've been arguing that we can see the manifestation of our own will to manifest basically the rules of our reality very quickly, even morally. Um, Now I'm at a bit of a crossroads because, to some extent, I think it's almost borderline like a moot point because, um, well, to talk about, actually, let's expand it out. Let's expand morality out towards, um, let's expand morality to talk about, like the way I treated Bosco or something like that. Very high-minded, working with the true will, working with something higher in the self. I think my symbology on this isn't quite clear. Rather, I haven't done, so much reading and taken so much about it. So, I know we create something of ourselves, but I think that the true will thing was very compelling because, for me, it's compelling because, like in my upbringing, you have a lot of people like with different opinions, like very different opinions, and they're all sort of disagreeing with each other, and they're all sort of having friction between one another because of their different viewpoints. And on one hand, I understand that this is a little bit delusion, just like shitty poor people with their, quote unquote opinions. And that there's probably some small array of opinions and feelings that are functional. You know what I mean? Like, if someone has a gun and someone has a sword and they get in a fight, who is more likely to win? Type thing. The other thing is, okay, maybe among, let's say, high society. So if we get out of the energy, we take it out of the energy of delusion, and we talk about high society, and which is maybe making delusion more functional, really. I don't know. That's the question, right? That's the question here is, do our delusions become reality? So I have a lot of doubts about the, manifestation community. I've seen things manifest for me as well, for sure. But even the things you think of to manifest are fed to you by forces outside of your control. So what does this say about, sort of what is the ultimate reality? I don't know. I think about it and I can't look at the world as being ultimately one way or another because everyone acts differently. You know what I mean? But perhaps in the sense that there's an ultimate reality that have many more mutable realities nested within, or just a very, very, very complex ultimate reality. Perhaps. But then why would spirituality work? Why would letting go of your paradigms and things like that and basically reprogramming yourself, why would that be so effective? Is it literally just, you're stuck in ultimate reality, 7.5.3.2.x point, this very nested reality, and by reprogramming yourself, you're becoming into a bigger reality with more options. That could be a new way to see it that would be functional. I'm trying to account for it though, because once we talk about magic, the conversation about morality is a lot more charged, because I literally can mess with people's lives, strengthen people, weaken people, help people, hurt people. I can do whatever I want. And I've seen that. I've seen how, the application of will has in fact, it's been effective, and it's been something that, to me, yeah. I've seen true will. I've seen it. I've felt it, basically. I've seen the evidence of it. That being said, is that really in conflict with some universal truth? This is a tough one. I'm getting something from this, actually. Wow. As if the infinitely large eggs. Trivia? As if the infinitely large eggs are a metaphysical truth as well as the physical truth of what our universe looks like. That we're in this egg, and then we break out of the egg of our perceptions into larger perceptions, and then we break out of that and we're into larger perceptions as we become more ultimate and into more consciousness of godhood, of consciousness of larger and larger godhood. And that I'll have to meditate on this, because I feel there's some gold here, but I'm also simultaneously kind of stumped as to know what the true immediate import of this is. So yeah. Anyways.